Hey guys, this is LG Shaft, and we're here watching the MSI Pro Cup number 11. We've seen some really awesome games from some really awesome players in this invite-only tournament ran by Team Millennium. With me tonight, helping me cast this entire playlist, is my good friend and buddy, Bug Rancher. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm really enjoying these games. I tell you what, we've seen some awesome games tonight, some very close games, and also some very good clinics on each matchup, showing us exactly how to dominate your opponent, even if they are playing at a very high level.
Yeah, what's interesting is we've seen every match up to this point be a 2-0, and we are in game number 2 now against Biggs and Todd. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys because you saw last game if you're watching this playlist, and if you're not, how dare you? But with that being said, let's go ahead and move on into this game. I still want you to introduce the players for me, buddy. And we will be getting this unpaused in 3, 2, 1. Go, go, go!
All right, in the bottom left corner, we have one of the top European Zergs, besides Stefano, Moose Biggs.
Are you sure that's not Mal's?
Yeah, that's Mouse.
Okay.
My bad.
Just
I'll have to learn European one day.
yes, sir.
Yeah,
That is
it's not a language.
European is a difficult language to learn, my friend.
All right. Well, in the top right corner, we have MSI Fanatic, RC Todd, who is a very, very, very good Protoss player who's been playing on the Korean server, training in Korea, and was an excellent Warcraft 3 player, and is playing as the Blue Protoss.
Wasn't he human in Warcraft 3?
I'm not sure. I know you followed the Warcraft 3 scene a little more than I did. I was more of the Brood War scene.
I'm pretty sure he was human. I think I remember facing him in a couple of tournaments, actually. Any case, that's ancient history. We are seeing out of Biggs this spawning pool first into a fast hatch, more than likely going to get a third hatchery here in the next minute or so. RC Todd, of course, going with the Nexus first. And this is something Protoss can get away with these days, as in most Zerg matchups, except for ZVZ, units aren't really made until around 8-9 minutes for aggression.
Right, that's for sure. The one threat to going Nexus first is an initial pair of lings off of this 14 spawning pool. Those 4 or 6 lings can get in and deny a lot of mining time because the Protoss player has to chase them around with his probes. It's quite a comedic sight. But on a map as big as Daybreak, it's usually not really a problem for the Protoss. The lings just can't get there in time before that cannon finishes. So we see Protoss taking an appropriately greedy opening.
I think that's really the right response. StarCraft is an economic game, and while it's exciting to see 7 pool mixed into everybody's build order archive, or arsenal, I suppose would be a better word, but it's better to see these macro games because then you start seeing crazy things like Click 3 base and drops and Brood Lords and Ultralisks and Baneling Bombs and all the exciting things associated with the intense late game.
We are seeing a really passive early game makes for a really good mid game. I tell you what.
It does because you have a lot more economy at that point to deal with, to actually pump out units and upgrades and all the other things you're going to need for a really strong mid game. Now, I really like the Overlord positioning for Biggs. He's got a Overlord in position here at the back of the Nexus. That's going to allow him to see the gas of his opponent and get a read on this if this is a gateway timing or some kind of tech play. He's got another Overlord here at the initial ramp. He's going to see any Zealot or Probe move out on this left ramp and even on this right ramp if the player is sloppy. He's probably going to use this Ling to cover the rest of that ramp and then feel completely safe to do whatever he likes until his opponent decides to take some gas and give him a reason to check out what's going on. Robo facility is going down now, so this would be an awesome time to check out what's going on. But he's not seen the gas, so he's probably not going to do that.
Right. One big thing about 4 FE versus 3 base hatch ZVP, it's very important to check the geysers, check the gas timings. It really tells you all you need about what your opponent's going to do. Now, Protosses lately have been trying to fake Zergs out, doing things like building 3 geysers, putting 1 probe in each gas, and going for an 8-gate all-in. But we see Todd here going for the early robotics facility. Maybe he wants to do an Immortal all-in, or maybe he just wants to get that Observer out to see what his opponent is doing. And it looks like his choice is the Immortal.
Absolutely. Now, this is probably going to be some kind of 2-base aggression, if not a 2-base all-in. You mentioned earlier this is about the time he wants to start making gateways. We see 3 gateways coming out. He's probably going to follow that up with another gateway here shortly, and then go ahead and start moving out across the map.
Right. There is the other option. We saw last game Todd build 2 or 3 more gateways in his main and go for that Immortal Sentry push, which unfortunately failed. But also, with this build, what you can do is just use these 3 gates, go build your Nexus in 3rd base, and try to defend and get your tech up and defend the Roach aggression, Stefano style. But it looks like Todd is going to build more gateways and maybe go for that same push.
I like this decision, actually. I think Biggs showed himself a superior macro player in that last game, and Todd is going to play his opponent rather than necessarily playing the matchup, and this may be a wise decision, playing to his strengths and trying to deny his opponent that same advantage.
I completely agree. And it looks like Todd is going to start pushing out with these Immortals and Sentries, place that proxy pylon and start the pressure. But it looks like Biggs is up to 61 drones. He's got his Roach Warren. He's got his Roach speed going and his upgrades, and he's in a decent position to defend, and especially, oh my gosh, this creep spread is excellent considering the period of the game this is in.
What that's going to do is actually force the pylon to be made a lot farther away. He's not going to be able to reinforce his pylon with another one up front. He goes ahead and sends his probe to a different location to hit up another angle as he goes ahead, gets ready for this timing attack. He's got a lot of sentries here, and ideally Biggs would be engaging with roaches right here to target down sentries before a lot of stalkers show up, but Biggs didn't have them on the map, and that may play to Todd's advantage here, despite being about 40 supply behind.
Right, this creep spread is really just giving Todd a lot of problems with this push.
Yeah, it's going to allow Biggs to get any kind of concave he likes and get a really good hug on the Sentry Stalker force. If a Roach force can get a hug on Stalkers, which basically means get right up next to them and surround them, the range of either unit doesn't matter, and neither is going to be able to kite. And that's exactly what Biggs is trying to do here, but the force fields are going to make that difficult. By hitting from multiple flanks, he has allowed the force fields to have a couple of holes in it, and he does manage to get a couple of roaches up close to that Protoss army, and you see as it now melts away.
Yeah, Biggs is running the clinic on how to stop this particular Immortal Sentry push. Todd is doing some excellent drop micro with these Immortals, but it's just not enough. This flank from Biggs was just too powerful, which forces the Protoss player to use twice as many force fields. And this push is completely dependent upon force fields.
Absolutely. And that's basically the exact counter to how to deal with what Todd has been trying to throw at his opponent. Now, this Warp Prism will arrive about the time these Roaches do, so it's not going to be able to get the best positioning. The Zealot Sentry Force is going to try to cover this ramp, but it's going to take perfect force fields to do so. And in fact, Biggs is just not even going to bother with that, going ahead and starting with debris immediately.
Right. He wants to force Todd into using more force fields than he really wants to, because he just lost all his sentries. Force fields are kind of a precious commodity at this point in the game, and
Big's doing really
You know,
nice
this is
roach
the
micro
point.
here. He's sandwiching his opponent, which will allow these 40 lings he just made to come in and just wreck. No force fields were actually dropped there to deal with what Biggs had thrown at him, and Todd just going ahead dropping the GG. Very
Yeah,
happy to have just
another-
been eliminated from the MSI Pro Cup.
Well, I mean, I guess he's a positive guy. Hopefully he got a lot of practice out of that because, I mean, Biggs just showed him that this is how you defend the Century Immortal All-In push, and I can defend it. What are you going to do?
Absolutely, man. And that was just textbook stuff right there. You could not have asked for better Zerg play out of Biggs. I mean, that was just the end of that. Well, that being said, guys, we are going to take a minute break and then move right on into the next game. See you there. Bye-bye.